All right, everybody. This video is penning and sewing the sides of the skirt to finish them off. So we've done some penning this semester. It should be a familiar process to you. This is the hem edge of my skirt. It doesn't really matter where you start, but you do need to pin on the side you've folded to so that you can see where your edge is. Because what we're going to do is pin, and then we're going to sew right along the edge of this. So you want to be able to see that edge. So pin from this side. And it's about every 4 or 5 inches. You'll take a pin. You'll make sure your fold is laying nice and flat. You can do this on the table if you'd like. Let's see if I can zoom in for you on that. Oh, well, that didn't help much. I don't really like to pin up in the air like this so much, because you can't really tell how flat things are. So just put a pin through there. You'll see I've got my skirt, body of my skirt laid out to the left on the table, so it's not bullying me and trying to pull itself off the table. I'm gonna pin, I'm gonna move down a few inches, pin again. Move down some more, and move my pins where it's convenient to grab them. You can do this laid out at a table. You can do this with a lot more room than what I've got right here. Please feel free. In fact, I encourage you to do that. I'm just doing it right here at this machine for the purposes of this video. So if you'd like to lay it out on the table and not be crowded like I am, I recommend that. I just don't want to have to move the video and make everybody seasick. So I'm working with what I got. All right, I've made it down to this end. Make sure everything's nice and flat. Looks good. I'm gonna put one more pin in there. All right. So now you can see I've got this whole side pinned. Your pins might be facing the opposite direction because you're right-handed. That's not really a problem. What we want to do, now that we've got this done, is sew right along this edge. Remember where I showed you how we want to sew right here? So you're going to do that on the machine. And if you look, you can sit your presser foot down and bring your needle down and see how close that is to the edge. I don't know if you can see in there, but my needle's coming down really close to that edge, and that's what we want. You want to keep it as close to this edge as you can without wandering off or wandering too far that way. And then you sew it. Don't forget to backstitch. So I'm going to take a couple stitches. I'm going to backstitch. And I'm going to go forward again. My settings on the machine are at a 3 and a 0 width up here. My stitch width is a 0, if you can see that. Right there. That's a 0. I'm going to zoom in here. Yeah. Now I'm going to sew this side. Keeping my eye on this edge and making sure my needle is going right where I want it. Using this left hand to sort of drive the fabric and the right hand to sort of guide it. But again, we don't want to push or pull. We want the machine to do the work for us. We're just steering. If you'd like to pull your pins out before you sew over them, you can. I don't always do it, but it is a good practice if you're comfortable with it. I'm gonna leave my last pin in so everything kind of stays put where I want it. And don't forget to backstitch. All right. Let's see how we did. This looks pretty good. See how close I am to that edge? I encourage y'all to try to get as close to that edge as possible. Makes for a very nice finish. And that is pinning and sewing the side of your skirt. And the last step you'll need to do is take this over to the iron and press it. Every time you do a double folded edge like this, I want you to always press it last. So I'm gonna skip that step in the video, but no, I'll be able to tell if you didn't press your seams after you, or your edges after you hemmed them. Always press. That's it. Do this to the other side of your skirt and you've sewn up both sides. You have drawn the lines, you have pressed it, you have pinned it and hemmed it for a finishing. You have a nice finished edge now that won't fray out anymore.